This video is going to cover some short spot checks if you're having trouble with your serging machine. We're at the very top of the thread tree, and you'll see how the spools are threaded up to a tree, and you see as they loop through these loops, these are called thread guides, they have to loop through them one time and one time only. And if they don't, and they go around twice, your machine won't sew. It's hard to tell unless you get your eyes right up close to them. Second thing it's going to not make it not work is when these thread guides here are threaded, they got to be in perfectly through those thread guides. There's an eyelet, then there's a tension disc, and then there's a groove for the threads to fall into. If the thread guides aren't properly threaded, they won't sew. Next is the tensions. These are very tricky. You can't see in there, but as the thread goes in there, it's sandwiched between two discs. And it's got to be in there. The pink thread, you can see the pink thread going into the discs. And if it's laying on top of the discs, it won't sew. So those are all checked out right. The next area are the lower thread guides, and if these aren't just perfect, your machine won't work either. So the thread will come through the tensions down to the thread guides that are color-coded to the tension dials. Blue, green, gold, and red. And the thread guides are blue and green for the lower loopers. If they're mixed up in any way, it's not going to work. Check those. If they're double wrapped around an eyelet, it's not going to work. Then the thread for the needles, of course, comes down for both needles, the gold and the red. As you can follow, that blue thread goes up and over, and then down through the thread guides on the needle clamp, and then into the eyes of the needles. Watch all those items because every one of them is critical.